I've got a problem up here on the board for you folks to try. I'm going to suggest that you pause the video, give it a shot, think about it, try it, and then tune back in. Welcome back. Okay, so let's see. If I try to plug in 0, 0, that's going to make the denominator go to 0 and the numerator go to 0. So we've got an indeterminate form. I usually look for a substitution first. Is there the same expression showing up on top and on bottom? No, there really isn't. Okay. But we are in 2 space approaching the origin, so I do have the option of switching to polar. So let's do that. Now, if I'm doing that, I need to explain that I'm doing that. So, switch to polar, and I need to make a choice. I'm going to let r be the positive square root of x squared plus y squared. Okay. So then I can say this is the limit. As r goes to 0 from the right, it's always going to be a one-sided limit when I switch to polar. If I chose r to be the negative square root, then I'd be approaching 0 from the left, but it would still be one-sided. Okay. X is r cosine theta, and that's, the denominator is just r. Notice, if I hadn't made this choice, I wouldn't know whether that was r or the opposite of r. So it really is necessary to make that choice, especially, I mean, it's necessary anyway to make sure that we're making a continuous substitution. But in this case, it's necessary because otherwise I don't know what that is. Okay. All right, so my r's cancel. This is interesting. So you'll notice when before I had you pause, I said, try this, think about it. That's because this gives us something to think about. There's no place for me to plug in 0 for r. Do I say the limit is cosine theta? I thought the limit was supposed to be a number. Is cosine of theta a constant? No. Theta is still a variable. Remember, if we were approaching the origin, theta is free to be anything we want it to be, which means cosine of theta is taking on all values between -1 and 1. We say a limit exists if the output of the function is approaching a unique number. There is no unique number that falls between -1 and 1. That's a whole range of numbers. So this limit does not exist. So sometimes this technique is going to allow us to evaluate the limit. In this case, it allows us to see that the limit does not exist. Okay. So if there are thetas and you're not multiplying by r's to kill them off, even though this is bounded, it's not taking on a unique value. This limit does not exist.